Hello everyone and welcome back. So today's topic of discussion is reading comprehension, especially for the SEAD exam. Yes, so let's get started. So the first thing I want to focus on is the tips for attempting reading comprehension. So these are the tips I want to focus on. The first tip for today is don't use outside knowledge, your opinion or your common sense while approaching RC. Right? RC is nothing but reading comprehension. All right, so approach the passage very objectively. Don't use your common sense or outside information because it might lead you to make inferences or assumptions that aren't supported by the text itself. So this can lead you to misinterpret, and especially if the passage represents an unfamiliar argument or perspective, it might be a very big mistake if you use your outside knowledge or your common sense. All right. So stick to the inferences that are logically drawn from the information provided within the text itself. So stick to the text, stick to the passage, stick to the author's information. All right. So yeah, let's move on to the next tip. Read the questions carefully. Yes, we know that we are supposed to read the entire passage without skimming through it, but it's equally important to read the questions carefully. Yeah. So make sure you read the questions without leaving any lines out. Pay attention to the questions too. All right. So yeah, let's move on to the next step. Read all the answer choices. Yes. Even if you want to mark one particular answer choice, make sure you read all the other answer choice that have been given. All right. Before marking your final answer, try to read all the answer choices. All right. So yeah, even if you want to mark option B, for instance, don't mark it at once. Try to consider option C and D as well. All right. So yeah, let's move on to the next step. Try to eliminate some options. In case if you aren't able to arrive at the answer to a particular question, at least you can do is try to narrow down your choice by eliminating some options which you know are definitely incorrect. So it's very unlikely that you will be confused among 4 or 5 options, right? So usually easily be eliminating 2 or 3 options. After which, if you make a blind guess, then there is a 50% chance of selecting the correct answer. So make sure you use this particular tip. All right. So yeah, let's move on to the final tip for today. Find the tone of the author, whether the tone is positive, negative, or sarcastic and everything, and then it will give you an edge. All right. So make sure you find the tone of the author at once you finish up your passage. Not only the tone, you are supposed to find the main, primary, and secondary purpose of the passage as well. At once you finish your passage, try to find all these up. All right. So yeah, it's equally important to find the primary, secondary, and main purpose of the passage. All right. So yeah, because most of the time your questions will be around all these stuff. All right. So this is the passage. So what I would suggest you to do is pause this video, take a minute or two, try to read all the lines here, try to understand the passage, and then find the main purpose of the passage, primary, secondary purpose of the passage, and then the tone of the author as well. Yeah. After doing that, we will deal with the questions. All right. So yeah, take your time, and then here comes the first question. The author of the passage is most likely to agree with which of the following is the question here. So let's see the options that's been given in here. Two words can never be complete synonyms. So yeah, the author clearly states in the second paragraph, right? It's been clearly stated by the author in the second paragraph that there is no point in having multiple words with the same meaning. He goes on to conclude later in the passage that even if two words have the same meaning, they convey different feelings. Thus, he would most likely agree with option A, I would say. All right. So that the two words can never be complete synonyms. There will always be some at least small differences between the two words. All right. So yeah. Yes, it's convincing, but then let's read the other options as well. All right. So yeah, let's take a look. Yes, yes, option B. The dictionary does not contain all the meanings of a word. The author never states that the dictionary does not contain all the meanings of a word, right? But he mentions it cannot convey the feelings attached to a word, but he didn't tell that that he didn't mention the dictionary will not contain any meanings of a particular word. So this is out of the box. So we can easily eliminate option B from here. So moving on to option C. The English language is inherently superfluous. So the author in fact states that the English language is very economical, but not this. So we can eliminate option C as well, right? So moving on to option D. So here I would say here, see this, they have the word extreme word here. Never is the extreme word here, right? So we have some extreme words, for example, say never, every, all, everyone, everything. So all these are extreme words. A good author will never use extreme words in or her passage. All right. So if you find any extreme words in the question and which is not mentioned in the passage by the author, then you can easily close your eyes and remove that particular option from the list. You can easily eliminate that particular option if you have extreme words in that particular option choice. All right. So yeah, let's yeah, I'm scoring down option D, and then I'm moving on to option E now. It is pedantic to quibble over the difference in meaning between two close synonyms. So the author states at the end of the first paragraph that he belongs to the opposite group for whom such differences have significant value. So again, it doesn't make any sense. So we are eliminating option choice E as well. So the answer is for this particular question is A. All right. So yeah, A is the answer. So let's move on to the next question. So what is the primary purpose of the passage? So I've already told you about this because most of the questions in the RC will be from primary, main, and secondary topic of discussion. And then you will mostly probably might be asked about the tone of the author as well. So yeah, the primary purpose of the passage, let's find out that. Okay, so the first option here is to explain the limitations of the dictionary. So while the author does mention this is not the main purpose of the entire passage. It's the part of the passage. So we can eliminate option choice A. Yes, let's move on to the next option choice. To highlight the importance of uses of the English language in conveying the feelings and moods attached to a word. Again, the author mentions this in the last paragraph, but he didn't. He actually didn't dedicate the entire passage to discuss this fact, right? So this is not the primary purpose of the passage. Rather, it's the part of the passage. So we can eliminate this option as well. So let's move on to the next option. To prove why two words can never be exact synonyms. The author does not prove anything in the passage. So prove, the word prove here is kind of weird and doesn't suit well. So we can eliminate option choice C as well. So we can move on to the next option here. To discuss the importance of subtle feelings and moods attached to words having similar meanings. Yes, the author underlining the theme in the passage is that even if two words have the same meaning, the feeling or mood conveyed by them could be different. Yes. So he concludes the passage by stating that the uses of English language have a very important role in sustaining the feeling or mood attached to that particular word. So I would say B captures the best essence of the passage. So before jumping into the conclusion, let's consider option choice E as well. So to criticize those who believe that synonyms can also always be used interchangeably. No, actually, he is not, the author is never criticizing anyone in the passage. So it is completely false according to the passage. So we can eliminate option choice E as well. So the answer for this particular question is, all right. So yeah, let's move on to the next final question here. According to the passage, each of the following is true of a dictionary except. So according to this passage, the option choice given here, most of the following will be true and only one will be false, not true. So we have to find the false option choice out of all these option choice that's been given for us. So yeah, let's see. Let's consider option choice A first. All right. So option choice A states it can help pronounce words correctly. So it is mentioned at the end of the second paragraph. So true according to the passage. So we can eliminate that option. We want false one, right? Remember? So don't forget that. Let's move on to the next option. It provides information about the origin of words. It's again mentioned in the end of the passage, second passage, and there we had the word in the passage we had the word etymology, and it's paraphrased as the origin of words in here in the option choice B, right? So yeah, we can eliminate this option as well because it's true according to the passage. Moving on to the next option, that is C. So it does not communicate feelings or mood attached to a word. Yes, it's already been discussed in the passage. Yes, moving on to the next one. It provides all the meanings of a word. Main purpose of the dictionary. Yes, this is the main purpose of the dictionary. Yes, so we can eliminate this option choice as well. So let's move on to the next, last option choice. Yes, the last option choice is it helps choose which word to use from amongst closely related synonyms. Yes. In the third passage, the author states the dictionary is of little use in the using deciding out of two close synonyms, which one conveys feelings and mood effectively. So this exactly the option choice is exactly opposite to that the author is discussing. So option choice E is untrue. So that's why yes, option choice E is the best answer for this particular question. So yeah, so the answer for the last question is option choice E. All right, so that's all for today. If you have any doubts related to this, you can, or anything that is related to SET, you can comment below and then I'll check it out and give you some clarity on that. All right, so yeah, thank you.